Posen. Some folks call this sleepy little town the crown jewel of the wild Southwest. The southwest suburbs of Chicago, that is. Still, most folks who pass through think Posen is little more than a final resting stop at the end of Hopeless Highway, or as the locals call it, Interstate 294. Now, aside from them aforementioned locals, the only person who spends any time in Posen is the occasional drifter, the occasional truck driver, or the occasional truck driving drifter. I reckon that shouldn't come as no surprise to anyone, seeing as how nothing much ever happens there, usually. But sometimes, why sometimes even the sleepiest little town can suddenly find itself shook awake by the cold hand of fate.
One day I was sitting at work and my friend Adam called me, and it was weird because he rarely calls me, let alone during the day, and he had been looking online for some stuff about Bruce Campbell, and he found a reference on, I don't know if it was Amazon.com or what, but that Bruce Campbell was selling his book as an audio movie, and he said, you know, Bruce Campbell he's calling it an audio movie. He stole your idea. My name's Paul. I grew up on the southwest side of Chicago. Right now I live downtown. I'm in a high-rise, and I work downtown as a project manager for a construction company. I did a lot of creative writing, usually with my friend Pete. We wrote a whole lot of sketches, or started to write a film screenplay, and then we never actually finished that. Well, this is Pete. He and I have written several projects together, including Dick, the first audio movie. Yeah, actually the idea of the audio movie came from Pete's friend Chuck.
I don't know, one day he just called me up out of the blue and said, you know, you guys are always saying that making a movie is way too expensive, so why don't you guys make an audio movie? And, you know, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I came up with this idea to make a movie, except it would just be audio. It would be like a regular movie, but with no picture, basically.
And Pete and I took his idea and just ran with it. We wrote a full-out screenplay. We wanted this to be the best quality product that we could make it, and we didn't decide to go after Tom Hanks, and we went after Bruce Campbell. Well, Bruce Campbell is a cult icon. He's kind of a goofball and a smartass, known for his role. Probably his most famous role is that of Ash in the Evil Dead trilogy, Evil Dead 1, 2, and then Army of Darkness. He's pretty much known as a B actor, and he's actually a self-proclaimed B actor. He wrote a book called Confessions of a B-Movie Actor. Part of the reason that we thought of Bruce Campbell initially is because we've always idolized him, like his Evil Dead movies and Army of Darkness, and we've always kind of had this crush on him. Some friends of mine from my neighborhood growing up used to do what they would call an Ash Wednesday marathon, and that involved watching the 3 Evil Dead movies, because the main character's name in those movies is Ash. And they, of course, would watch the movies on Ash Wednesday, back to back to back. My friend Dave actually did invite Bruce Campbell to the Ash Wednesday celebration. Dave went to a book signing and met Bruce and invited him to the Ash Wednesday celebration. I think he was turned down. Well, Bruce never showed up.
You know, he started out like as a small indie guy. He's all about being a B-movie actor. He's all about, we kind of thought that he would think like we do, where, this is like a great indie idea. These 2 guys came up with this new concept. Man, I'd love to be part of this. This would be great to help these guys out, and also something cool for me to do. We figured basically, if we get him interested in the project and he likes the idea, we go from there to the next step.
This is the letter that we sent to Bruce Campbell's agent. Basically, I just created a company so that we would look official. It's pretty obvious from the text of the letter that we don't know anything about what we're doing, but it's addressed to Mr. Barry McPherson, who's Bruce Campbell's voice agent. And, dear Mr. McPherson, please find enclosed 2 copies of the script for our next production, Dick, an audio movie. Allow me to describe this new medium, since you may not be familiar with it. An audio movie is similar to an old-fashioned radio drama, but instead of being broadcast on the radio, it is screened in front of live audiences at small theaters, coffee shops, and bars. And then the last statement, my associates and I are very excited about this upcoming production, and we feel Mr. Campbell is a perfect fit for the lead role. I give my telephone number, email address, and Look forward to hearing back from you in the near future regarding this matter. I thought that people would be, or I thought that Bruce's agent would at least react by responding with a letter saying declining to participate. I never received any kind of correspondence back. To answer your question, I could not have imagined that anybody would take our idea. This is Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way, the audio movie. With the completion of the written book, the prospects of doing a regular audio adaptation weren't very appealing. Then a few things dawned on me. One, I'm the lead character of the book. Two, as an actor by trade, I could play the part. And three, I'm knee-deep in actor pals, so why not record the book like a radio play? This is the RicoDisc.com description of Bruce Campbell's audio movie. Accompanied by other actors and sound effects, Bruce brings the book to life in a new and totally unique experience on this 6 CD audio film.
It seems like an awful big coincidence, you know, that we use the term audio movie all over the place when we wrote him, contacted his people, and all of a sudden the same thing comes out. It's a book on film. It's a book on tape, but it's not calling it a book on tape. He's calling it an audio movie. It just, I mean, it's anecdotal, I guess, evidence, but it's, you know, I'm pretty sure myself, just based on that.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, we're kind of detectives ourselves, and we trace back to interviews prior to the date that we sent the letter to him, and I was unable to find any reference to an audio movie in any of his interviews until roughly October of 2005. Now, we had sent the proposal to Bruce's agent in late August of 2005. It's still kind of not certain to me that he actually stole our idea, but if he did, then I would think he's kind of my opinion would definitely decrease.
Oh, I definitely think that, in my opinion, I'm certain that he used the term audio movie after receiving our letter and our idea. I think I believe that he did take the idea of at least calling it the audio movie from us. Even though I'm kind of mad at him, I'd still have him do our project. But I'm kind of like, I don't know, a little private boycott. Like, I'm not going to go out and buy the Criterion Army of Darkness now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, like, give him money. But, I still love his movies. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of like what we wanted to do with our thing. I mean, you could hear all the background sounds, like, I mean, you could see if you read our script, like you have the sound cues, and you can tell that that's probably the same way that he wrote his.